Thoughts on modesty? Oof, aren't you scared of being 23? Surgery updates. Would you ever get a tattoo? What are you doing for birth control? If you've struggled with anxiety, how do you overcome it? I would love to hear about your health issues if you're ready to talk about it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. It has been a long time coming. I can't remember the last time I did one of these, but it's been a good bit. So grab yourself a drink, a snack. I have a vanilla latte. Well, actually, it's technically a caramel macchiato, which is just a vanilla latte with some caramel drizzle on top. I always make myself a drink for these videos and then never drink it because I'm talking. So we'll see if I finish this. It is so good. Per usual, I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions, so I'm just gonna go through them. Ooh, love this question. Any fun traveling plans coming up? Yes. Three really fun trips. The soonest one, we're going to Chicago, really Milwaukee. Sam's going there for work and I'm gonna travel with him. And then I think we're gonna go to Chicago for like a day. And then we're going to New York City. Also so exciting for 2-year anniversary. Then we're going to an all-inclusive resort like we did for our honeymoon. We've been wanting to go back to one so bad. So that was the first trip that we booked this year and we are so excited for that. All you can eat food. I cannot wait. That's gonna be like my relaxing trip. I'm looking forward to it so much. Okay, I need to answer this question because it's very funny. It says, how much has Teddy helped your mental health? I thought it would help me so much. He could be my emotional support animal and it would be great. And in some ways he is. Like, he'll cuddle with me and I don't feel as alone whenever I'm like home alone while Sam's at work. But am I anxious all the time about him? Yes. If he has diarrhea, my brain goes, oh my gosh, he's dying. It's made it a little bit worse, but it's been good because I tend to be an anxious person and I know I don't want to live that way. So this has been very helpful for when kids come along. I don't want to be an anxious parent. I don't want to be overbearing or worried about them. So it's been a good little trial round. Can you talk more about healing your body through foods and balancing your hormones? This question came because I just talked in a previous slide about how I am doing a lot of changes in my life to help my body. And I will give my kind of top tips because this is a whole rabbit hole that I could go down. But I think the biggest thing that you can do is to cut out PUFAs out of your diet, which those are a specific kind of oil. Honestly, I'm not the best source to explain it, but I can tell you what they are. So I have cut out any oils that are seed oils, like canola oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil. I mean, there are so many. So I think it's more helpful to talk about what oils I do use when I cook. So I use grass-fed butter, ghee, avocado oil, or olive oil. Those are my and coconut oil. Those are the only oils I try my best to consume. Obviously, I can't live that perfectly because in any store-bought food, you are only gonna find seed oils because they are cheap and that is what our world uses rather than the more high-quality oils that are easier on your body. People will probably ask, like, why are seed oils bad? Long story short, they cause inflammation in your body and many other reasons. So I have an autoimmune disease that deals a lot with inflammation. So obviously, if I can cut out anything that does inflammation, then that would be great. But, you know, if you eat out, you're gonna be consuming seed oils. It's almost impossible not to. So it's impossible to stick by 100%, but I try to make conscious efforts to cut them out. The next best thing you can do is start eating beef organs. Now, this is grass-fed beef, high-quality beef, and organs like liver, heart, all that stuff. I am very easily squeamish, so I personally am not there to be able to like cook it myself yet. Maybe hopefully one day, but I've actually ordered supplements. It just has so many great benefits for your body and it's like a natural supplement in and of itself. There you go. I will leave some resources linked down below that are very helpful. Did you feel alone when you first got married? Yes, I did feel very alone. And there's many reasons why. One, because I moved to a brand new city and I went from living with like all my best friends. We always had people over to living with Sam. But here's the kicker, is that he was always traveling. So I didn't talk about it much on YouTube because I was really scared to be living in a new city by myself and always talking about how Sam is gone and I'm alone because that doesn't sound very safe to mention on the internet. I didn't have any friends here. It was just a big adjustment. So I'm very thankful that is not the case anymore. We've made such good friends here, which has been great. I feel like this comes up at every Q&A, and it says, do you guys plan to have kids soon? I was actually watching The Chosen last night. If you don't know what The Chosen is, it's a TV show that they have pretty much turned like the Gospels and Jesus' ministry into a TV show, and it's very good. Anyway, and Jesus was talking to Peter, and they brought up the topic soon, and Jesus is like, well, what is soon? You should ask God, because is soon tomorrow? Is it a few hours? Is it 100 years from now? And it's so funny because the Bible always says soon about things that haven't happened yet in Jesus' time, which was like 2,000 years ago. So soon is very relative. So I would say soon, but that doesn't mean, you know, within the next month or so. So I'm not sure when. We kind of have a timeline in our head, but there are a few things we want to work out before then. I definitely have major baby fever, but also it could be years, so who knows. This is insane to me that you guys even remember this, but I've had a lot of questions about my health issues. One said, I would love to hear about your health issues if you're ready to talk about it. I actually do feel ready to talk about it, and I think it's just gonna be a whole thing in and of itself, and I really feel like it's something that isn't talked about enough, and it was definitely the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, and I do want to share it, but I want it to be its own thing, and it will definitely be more of like a long form content. Okay, someone asked, what do I ask for when I get my hair done? I actually just got my hair done on Thursday, and I've never had bangs before, curtain bangs. If you follow me on Instagram, you know the debacle. Long story short, I am a low maintenance person. They're high maintenance. It's only been 5 days and I'm like, what have I done? But I do think they're fun and cute for a time. I only dye my hair once a year because, again, low maintenance. So I ask for balayage, and I'm pretty sure my aunt just bleaches it, if I'm not wrong. Like I don't get a certain specific color, and though it will look different on every person, it just depends on what your natural hair color is. So we go pretty heavy on the bottom, and then towards the roots we do kind of a lighter amount so that whenever it grows out it doesn't have like a line, so that it looks very like ombre and natural. This question cracks me up. It says, aren't you scared of being 23? Yes, I am. I don't like growing up. Let me just say that, okay? If I could freeze time, like I love where I'm at in life, but I'm really seeing like the sadness of life too. Like people are getting older and I'm getting older, and it's just really weird. For example, when I see like college football on the TV, I do not think I'm older than them, but I am. So I don't know what's not clicking in my head that I am growing up. It's just not registering. So yes, I am scared of being 23. So this is a little bit more serious. It says, if you've struggled with anxiety, how do you overcome it? I'm struggling with it now. Yes, anxiety is something that I guess I'll say marks my life. It was really bad my junior, senior year of college, like debilitating. And I would say I have overcome it. Not to say it doesn't come up and it's just a constant fight. What definitely helped me a lot was therapy, and I went to a Christian counselor who was like a psychologist, not just like a biblical counselor. There's a difference. I learned that. So it was very helpful because he taught me a lot about how my brain worked, and I have OCD tendencies with like the way I think my brain gets stuck on certain thoughts. He helped me a lot to understand biblically how to walk through anxiety, and also what scientifically my body was going through. I'll just tell you guys what I do when I'm feeling anxious, and this is essentially how I got brought out of such a dark place. This is obviously from the perspective of a believer. If you're not a believer, then I still would recommend that you do this, but obviously it might not make much sense to you. But when I am feeling anxious, I immediately stop and pray and just praise God for who He is. I think of good things, of who God is, what He did on the cross, just everything that is good and admirable. Because when we think of good things, our brain learns to then go there. It might always feel like it, but eventually our feelings will follow our thoughts. We can't let our feelings guide our thoughts. I think of what is true, because typically I'm believing a lie, or I'm feeling like maybe something is too big that I can't handle, or I feel very overwhelmed, or I just think of a crazy thought I know is irrational, but my body's reacting as if it is rational. And so I just remind myself that God is sovereign over everything. Like anything that happens, He foreknew it, and He has me in the palm of His hand, and He will not let me go. He calls me His daughter, and I trust that He will take care of me because He is a good Father. And the more you set your mind on these things, the more your feelings will follow, is the best way I can describe it. And I know science is catching up to that. So that is kind of my answer. Long-winded, I'm sorry. This is great. It says, best thing you learned in your first year of marriage, getting married in June. Well, congrats. Well, let me tell you, everyone says the first year of marriage is the hardest. Like, I was really scared to enter into it because everyone was saying that. But let me tell you, it's fun. It is so fun. Yes, there are things that you're navigating, but you're navigating it together with hopefully your best friend. My one piece of advice would be to resolve conflict quickly. Don't sweep it under the rug and don't let it brew. Like, handle it and handle it well. That's why I say resolve, not just like have conflict. I think the sign of a healthy marriage is conflict being resolved quickly. And I don't say that like I think that's like a statistic somewhere. This next question says, would you ever get a tattoo? I would say likely not, because I cannot make a decision to save my life. I cannot figure out what I want for dinner. I can't figure out what to order off of a menu, and there's so many options. And I am terrified of like a permanent thing like that. I'm a little, once I see something, I can't unsee it. Here's just a perfect example. When we got my wedding band in, I put it on next to my ring and I said, no. I can tell that there's a difference in width of my engagement ring and my wedding band. And that really bothered me. So we took it back to the jeweler, and the jeweler was like, I don't think there is. So she measured it, and it was like 0.0 something millimeters or whatever. It's like really, really small. I can't remember. Difference in size. And she was like, if it's really that big of a deal, we can like bring it back. I was like, yeah, you gotta bring it back, because I would look down at that and notice that every single time. So let's say I got a tattoo and maybe it was just like a little crooked, or one thing was just like a little, like I would literally go crazy, which is funny because in some areas of my life there are things I just don't care about. So those are like the two biggest reasons I would probably never get a tattoo. But I also just like, I don't really like most tattoos. We'll just say that. I think I'm really picky. So someone said, thoughts on Taylor and Joe splitting. I feel like most of you guys know I am a Taylor Swift fan. But when I say that, I really mean more her music, like her ability to write songs and so many of her lyrics and all of that. But like her and Joe breaking up, I was shocked. I was sad for her. They've been dating 6 years. Like, oh, that really sucks. But I don't really care to that degree. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not really into like pop culture. Maybe that's a better way to put it. So I feel like when people think like, oh, Taylor Swift fan, like she can do no wrong in my eyes, not true. So yeah, just thought I'd clear the air on that. But am I going to her concert this weekend? Absolutely. Am I going all out? Absolutely. And I am so excited. I've been counting down the days and I absolutely cannot wait. Okay, current obsession. My current obsession is the Shark Flex Style. It's amazing. It is the perfect dupe for the Dyson. It's still $300. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very expensive, but compared to $650, it's amazing. I've used the Dyson many a times. 2 people in my family have it, so I've used it a lot, and I think this definitely compares. I used it on my hair today, and I just love like this soft curl it gives. Now, I didn't use it on my bangs. I still have to learn how to do that. My camera battery died, so we recharged it. I don't know how long it's gonna last, so I'm gonna try to do some rapid fire here. Surgery updates. So if you missed my vlog, a few vlogs ago, I talked about how I need to get my tonsils taken out. I'm really scared to do it. I asked you guys how your experience was getting them taken out as like a young adult. Honestly, your responses terrified me. All of you said it was terrible but worth it, but that you were out for a while, and I'm so scared of that. So update is, I know I should do it. I just need to find a time to do it. What are you doing for birth control? So for the past 2 months, I've been doing natural cycles. I had seen a lot of people talk about it, some sponsored, some not sponsored, and I was just wanting something that was a little bit more structured, I guess is a good way to put it. So if you don't know what it is, it's essentially natural family planning. So as soon as you wake up, you take your temperature, and they like have a thermometer that you can use, and then you put your temperature into the app and like log symptoms and things like that, and it will let you know when you're fertile and when you're not. You'll have green days, which means you don't need to use protection, and red days you do need to use protection. You know, I've only been using it for 2 months, so the algorithm hasn't fully caught on to my body yet. Like, it takes a little bit. So we'll see, but so far I've been loving it. I will say though, remembering to take your temperature first thing in the morning before you say a word, before you get up, has been really difficult for me. I've literally been having to suction the thermometer to the back of my phone so that whenever the alarm wakes me up, I just like stick it in my mouth. But like, I was traveling this week, and so I completely forgot to take my temperature and things like that. So it's not as effective if you don't, you know, use it. I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. Okay, thoughts on modesty. Oof, that is a tough one. So actually, funny story. A few years ago, if you guys were around for this, then you'll remember I started this channel called Flourish, and I was like super excited to just post a ton of faith-based videos on there. After a little bit, me and Sam started dating, and just my capacity to continue it wasn't there. So I stopped doing it. Anyway, on that channel, I posted a video all about modesty, and I honestly forgot about it, and I went and looked, and it had a ton of views, so many views, and I rewatched it again because it's been years, and I really do still agree with almost everything I said, but I wish I would have clarified. It's really a matter of the heart. I think I did say it in that, but I guess I just would have been a little bit less like upfront, and maybe I shouldn't be that way. I have been a lot more like pulled back when it comes to sharing my thoughts about things on social media, whereas like whenever I first started YouTube, I was just a fire blazing, you know, popping things out left and right. Here's my opinion. So that's something, so I ended up privating that video just because of where I'm at now. I feel like there's a few things I wish I would have said, and it's not to say that, you know, God can't work through it, because I do agree with like the majority of things that I said, but I don't know, I just felt a pull to do that. This is something I've been wrestling a lot with, actually. Right now I'm reading 1 Timothy, and 1 Timothy 2 has a lot to say about that. And yeah, I've just been kind of thinking through like, first of all, I know it matters in the heart, but I also want to do what the Lord would call me to do, and what does that look like? And so I've been trying to just mull that one over. I don't have a perfect example for you, but I will say I've been having some convictions around that topic more recently. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Not a perfect answer, I'm sorry, but maybe I'll find some words to put to it soon. Any plans for your basement? No, we were going to like completely finish our basement. We have a basement the size of like literally the top of our house that's unfinished. But it would just cost a lot of money to completely finish it. So I don't think we have any plans for that right now. Ooh, do you think YouTube will fade out or remain popular? I don't know. I'm starting to think it might fade out. I really don't know the answer to that. I hope not. I love YouTube. It's very real, and it's just a lot more like relational in my opinion. I prefer it over other content. Those are all the questions for today's video. I'm very proud actually of the amount of coffee I've had. Is it because my camera battery died and I was just waiting? Maybe, but I feel like I had a good bit finished before that happened. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to link anything down below that I mentioned, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.